Are postal workers in danger? And if so, what can they do about it? Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Chris in Norton, Virginia. Hey, Chris, thanks for listening to SiriusXM. What's on your mind?
I'm just a little bit worried about all this because I'm a postal worker, and so far they've not really done anything to help us out. I mean, I can't imagine that they're going to shut the mail system down, but you got to think about how this stuff spreads. It's by spit and saliva, and you got to think about all the customers that we have that are licking envelopes and sending them in.
Yeah. So were I a postal worker, the things that, and of course I realize that there's different jobs. There's people who are behind the counter. I would be wearing a mask and wearing nitrile gloves or latex gloves if I could tolerate them. And you can still buy those things online. You can't get the masks anymore. But if I was one of the people who delivers mail door to door, I would either be wearing gloves and at the end of the day throw them away or disinfect them with bleach, or I would be being very, very careful not to touch my face and just assuming that my hands are contaminated zones until I get off my shift and then scrub the crap out of them. I don't know what I might be missing here, Chris. Obviously, you're not shaking hands with people or going into people's houses. But, these are fairly common sense steps that I think people can take. But I get it. The Postal Service needs to have a plan for this. And being a federal agency, of course, they have to dance to the tune of the Trump administration. And is the Postmaster General a Trump appointee, Chris?
I'm not 100% sure on all that. I know that the Postmaster General is supposed to be stepping down, and we're supposed to be getting another one here soon. But I do know that they just basically sent out the basic info and pretty much just said keep working. It's kind of I feel like we're kind of like the black sheep because the rest of the federal government is, they're all going to be protecting themselves. And we've got our senators and people that are going into self-isolation like Ted Cruz and stuff. But they're just leaving us out to dry. So. Yeah.
Well, did the sanitary protection measures that I suggested make sense to you? Are those things you can do?
If I want to, spend money out of pocket, sure. But the other alternative is to, try and put them in as an order for my station and hope that they approve it. So.
Well, you could even buy a pair of just regular leather winter gloves and wear those all day long while you're at work. You'd probably want to get what are called driving gloves, the very, very thin ones. And then at the end of the day, when you get home, wash them down with a bleach solution. And the leather will eventually look like hell, but at least it'll protect you. Or for that matter, you could just have your bare hands. Just be very, very careful that those bare hands never touch your face during the day, which I realize is very difficult, but still, that they never touch your face during the day, and then just scrub the crap out of them when you're done. This is a starting point. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about your job, but.
No, I completely understand. I can't imagine that they would shut the mail service. Can you imagine the country if our, the mail went down for even 2 weeks?
It would be insane. Yeah, it would be insane. And
especially where everyone's stuck at home right now and are ordering things online. Packages and stuff are going to go up. It's just. I work over the counter and, there's, I could take precautions and stuff, but that's still not going to protect me from people coming in that are sick or, touching someone's mail that could be contaminated. They say that
if you're doing that, if you're doing that, Chris, I get that. And you could still isolate your hands just by saying, okay, my hands are now contaminated. See, the virus will not go through your skin. It has to get to a mucous membrane. It has to get into your mouth, your nose, or your eyes, and or your genitals, depending on your sex and how you, all that kind of stuff. But I don't want to get really gross here. So if you just consider your hands a contaminated zone, but with regard to people talking to you and possibly communicating the virus to you, you might want to call your doctor's office and say, I'm a postal worker and I work, behind the counter and people are talking in my face all day long. May I get one mask from your office, please? Get a mask, put it on at the beginning of the day. At the end of the day, take that mask off. And if you can get a cloth mask, at the end of the day, take it off and wash it out with a bleach solution and reuse it as often as you can or as much as you can. I mean, call your doctor's office and have this conversation with somebody if they're available.
Yeah. I guess the biggest thing that worries me is the career employees and people with the post office. I mean, we have sick leave and stuff, but it's just our supervisors are super. I mean, we're already shorthanded. It seems like every post office that I work for, and they've said that they're going to just, instead of trying to shut us down or anything, they're just going to bring more people in to take up the spots for people that are sick and stuff. And I've been reading stuff online about supervisors telling people not to call in and stuff, and that's the complete opposite of what we're hearing about. You need to stay home. So
yeah, if you're not feeling well, it's not just if you're not feeling well. If you have been if you know that you've been exposed to somebody who has coronavirus, you should not go to work. Because, like I said, you start shedding viruses 24 hours after exposure, whether you get sick or not, whether you show symptoms or not. And it's not like the flu or the common cold, where you're really contagious in the early stages of symptoms. This thing, you're really contagious long before the symptoms show up, which is why if you're dealing with the public, you need to be protecting yourself with a mask and with gloves. You don't have to get a space suit to do this. I mean, it's not like you're handling people's bodies, or, you're not in a medical situation. But, this is a time that we all need to be very, very cautious. Chris, thank you for the call. I wish you the very best, my friend. And thanks for the call. Boy, what a tough situation to be in. I have the luxury of working from home. I'm so grateful for it. And the people who work with me. We've got now Nate is running the video of our show now from home. So, we're down to just 2 people in the office, which is good. We're going to try and get down below that. So we'll be back.